Hi everyone, McBeard here, back with a deck guide you might not expect. Have you heard of Legends of Runeterra? It's the new card game coming from Riot Games, based around the League of Legends universe. We're just going to start off playing some games. This is Shadow Isles mono region. So in this game, it's called Allegiance. When you play a deck that is only of one region, as opposed to the two regions you can build a deck with, and there are no neutral cards, just as a reminder, you get to play cards that have the allegiance bonus, and at this time in the game, there's only one for each faction. But the one for Shadow Isles is really good. So the star of this video and the star of this deck is Wraithcaller. Whenever you summon this minion, if it has its allegiance bonus, which you can read on the screen here, the card on top of my deck has to be the same faction. So you don't have to run a mono deck. You can actually splash. And I was thinking about splashing one or two Piltover cards to do something sneaky like add a bunch of Mistcallers to my deck. But I don't think that's necessary. I think it's just good by itself, and it's good just to have a 100% chance to proc this bonus. All of the allegiance cards for every faction usually play far above their rate because of this bonus. And when you can assure it, it's very good. If you can't assure it, the card is extremely below average. So allegiance cards will be the value that you'll be able to find as a sacrifice for only playing one region. At the moment, like I said, there's only one card. However, this card works with the Mist Wraith, which we are also running two of in our deck as well. So over time, we start playing these guys, and they are very fearsome attackers, not just because they are fearsome, in that they can only be blocked by enemies with 3 attack or more, but they are also getting stronger and stronger, which means they start to trade up constantly. Other great stuff in this deck, we're playing with Aristocrat technique, and that is a Magic the Gathering reference that is actually in this game as the hapless Aristocrat. Lives to die. He's a 1/1 that summons a 1/1, and there's a lot of cards in here that live to die. You want to trigger them. You want to kill units on your side of the board before getting extra value from your stuff. For example, this is a Powerhouse card in this list. It's a 0 mana 2/3. And if you play it, you get to kill an ally. So you can obviously just get the value by playing a 0 mana card, getting a 1/1 on the trade, but it gets better from there. The Cursed Keeper is an amazing card. Harder to kill it because you can't declare him as a blocker and have him eat the damage. So with the Butcher, you get to play a 2/3 as well as a 4/4 crazy demon fridge. Rah, I'm an angry fridge. So that's just how the deck gets started. And beyond that, you kill allies for a lot of benefit. Black Spear, if an ally died, this is just really great removal. Kill an ally to draw 2 is probably one of the best cards in the game right now. Drawing 2 and getting benefit from a lot of these cards. Mist Wraith gets stronger and stronger, as I talked about. Vile Feast is just a good ping. Keeps you alive, gives you a blocker. It's a 1/1. The Undying, once they're on the board, they stay on the board and get stronger and stronger each time they are killed. And we have a lot of cards that kill our own units, so we get a benefit at the end of the round. They come back. The Wraithcaller, as I talked about, is just making 2 blockers, and they get more and more deadly as the game goes on. Grasp of the Undying is amazing removal that also keeps us alive, as this game is a very fast game. You're going to die very fast. And then we come into the Powerhouse cards. I'll go to the Rekindler last, because the whole deck kind of revolves around closing with the Rekindler. But if it gets late enough, you have the big boys of the Shadow Isles. And I really like the art direction here. It's like, we have Thresh, an established League of Legends character, but we need to make more stuff for the Shadow Isles. So let's make Thresh on steroids. Here's Rasa the Sunderer, which you have control over because you have a lot of ways to kill your own stuff. Plus, after combat, he can just come down and clean up. Doesn't matter how big or bad they are. If they're the lowest power enemies, he kills them. And then you get down to Commander Ledros. When you play him, he cuts the enemy's health in half. Yes, it rounds down, my friends. It favors the attacker. If your opponent has 3, he deals 2. And if your opponent has 1 health, he is dead. Your opponent will die if this resolves. Plus, if this unit dies, comes back to your hand so you can play it again. This card's great. Spectral Matron is a 6/6 that makes another blocker on the board or another attacker on the board. And that attacker could be a Rekindler who has a bonus whose effect comes in when summoned. So let's talk about the Rekindler now. The Rekindler, when summoned, revives the random allied champion with the highest power. And we're running 6 champions. So when you play him, you get 2 bodies, but also when he's summoned. So if the Spectral Matron summons it from hand, you also get that body as well. So that's 3 bodies, a 6/6, a 5/5, and maybe Hecarim, maybe Thresh, maybe Callista. It's insane, this deck. Once you hit 6 mana, this deck is just starting to put immense amount of pressure. And when it's all said and done, if your opponent still has all the answers, you have crazy stuff like the Harrowing, which you can actually play on turn 7 if you're floating 3 mana. And just fill your bench. Fill your bench up with blockers. Doesn't matter where they came from. It's a fantastic card. If you want to run the Harrowing, you could just kind of run the reverse of it, and that's Ruination, which is just kill all units. Or you could run them both, because you're Undying. They'll come back after the Ruination. Really cool stuff. Really cool stuff in this deck. Let's talk about the champions. Champions are Callista, Thresh, and Hecarim. 2 of each. You can have 6 champions in this game, and they all have level up conditions. Callista will level up when 3 allies die. Good thing, we love to kill allies. Also, Callista's bonding effect means that whoever she bonds with is likely going to die before she dies. So she'll at least see that ally die. Guaranteed. When she levels up, though, she revives whatever ally she bonded with at the beginning when she played. So if you bond with an Undying, she brings back a brand new Undying. Just because something is revived, by the way, doesn't mean it hasn't died. So a lot of stuff that says bring back revive things that died, if those things are on the board, it doesn't matter. If they have been killed once, they classify as being died. There's no graveyard in this game. When you have Callista in your hand, all your Callistas become Black Spear, which is one of the best removals in the game, so that's fine to have an extra Black Spear. And you get Callista back into the deck. When any of your champions level up, they all level up. Thresh is a 3/5 blocker with Challenger, and Challenger means that when Thresh attacks, he can hook in whoever he wants to block him. So he's likely going to kill that unit. And that means that whenever an enemy dies, Thresh gets a bonus, plus he's on his track to leveling up. And if Thresh wasn't deadly enough, his leveled up form makes him a 4/6 with Challenger that hooks in an opponent. Whenever an enemy dies, he is healed again, but when he attacks for the first time this game, I think it only triggers once, but it's still very good, he takes an attacking champion from your deck or hand. I'm not sure what the priority is, but it means it's basically happening. And if you have Hecarim in your... Now let's go to Hecarim, because Hecarim is the on-attack champion. If you're worried about big cards like She Who Wanders or Tryndamere, the stuff you've heard horror stories about if you've been following this game over this preview period, just close the game at round 6. Close the game when you can play Hecarim. That's where you want to do it. You can either play Hecarim, play the Rekindler to revive a Thresh or a Callista, but if you get to play Hecarim and attack without an opponent being able to respond with a blocker, you get the 4/6, as well as 2 additional 3/2s that are attacking that will die as well. So these allies dying will also get Callista leveled up as well. Also, while Hecarim is in your hand, if he is on the board, he becomes Onslaught of Shadows, which is very similar to his ability on attack. And when Hecarim levels up, which probably won't even happen because the game ends before that, so don't worry about him leveling up. But it just makes his attack that much crazier. But the game ends, Hecarim does not need to level up. He's very, very good for what he is. A 4/6 Overwhelm, which means he tramples that damage over into the Nexus and also creates an additional 6 attacking damage. That's 10 damage. The Nexus only has 20. That's half. So I think this game really has the idea that around 6, if you can have your opponent low enough, you can close the game in a turn if you have a strong enough mid-range. We found it really well here in the Shadow Isles Allegiance. Let's play 3 games right now and see how we do. Yeah, I'm probably going to post it on YouTube. This game's really good. This game's fantastic. I'm going to miss this game. Our opponent is Piltover Ionia, so we can assume that it is going to be an Ezreal deck, perhaps a Heimerdinger deck. We have the amazing combo of Ravenous Butcher, Cursed Keeper, and Callista's just icing. We don't need the Harrowing, so we'll mulligan that. I'm acting second, which means that I'm on the defending round. Home field advantage, that's what I like to call it. Baseball terminology all day long. Why not stick with it if you think it's amazing? Well, no, I will, but this is a preview period. I can't block this turn 1 Teemo, so the mushrooms are already flying into the deck. No, the game preview period ends on the 20th. I would play it, but I can't play it again until November 14th, which we will play again. This is the killer card game. I think this is the one. This is the one This is maybe a new benchmark.
We weren't expecting callers.
Ooh, I like the pass here. So here comes the combo. Butcher into Cursed Keeper. Here comes Crazy Fridge on steroids. Now we got a 3-2 and a 4-4 coming at him. Poor Teemo. What's he going to do? Teemo, what are you going to do, little buddy? Oh, he is going to do something. Mystic Shot. So he's going to kill the Butcher. There's nothing I can do about that. But I'm still attacking with this 4-4, baby. He's coming at you. And he's not going to sacrifice Teemo. We're going to get that Nexus damage. And just like that, his life is gone.
Quickly.
Just going to go in with that attack. Now, I can't do anything about it because Teemo is elusive. Only elusive units can block elusive. It's like Magic the Gathering flying. So I have to take that. Every time Teemo hits the Nexus, it's not rounds, no, but like Gwent, you can only play one card a turn, unless it's a burst card like this card. Now I'm gonna play Callista here because my opponent's, I mean, we're gonna bond with the 4-4, and this is a great card to come back on the bond, I think. The graphics in this game, like all the effects are all stylized. Everything, there's not a generic ping in this game. Also, no neutral cards, if I hadn't mentioned. There's only very, very specific things that Ionia and Piltover can do to me. But most specifically, Ionia has the counterspell, a card called Deny. It's the only kind in its game that just denies a skill or denies a spell. It's a 4-mana spell, which means that even with the carryover spell mana, my opponent can use it.
Within the flows of magic.
So my opponent will be able to deny a lot of very powerful spells. And now we're up to bat, my friends. We are on the attacking round. We have one carryover spell mana, which allows us to cast at least a 5-mana spell, even though we're on turn 4. We also can attack right now. Our opponent won't be able to respond by playing a blocker. If we choose to play a spell, of which none of these are really all that appealing, except for none of them, my opponent could respond by playing another blocker. Your champions will trash talk if you take too long. So you can always see the bond, and when you make a play, the Oracle Eye will always show you what will happen if you get lost. I love this aspect of the game. So is my opponent going to take this? No. He's going to at least let 4 damage hit here. The Fridge is going to... Okay, so this will kill my Crazy Fridge here. All right. So here's the thing. This thing's going to die, right? So I'm going to just kill it to draw 2 cards. It's going to actually occur before anything targets this because we have this stack here. This block is still in place. Wait, this is an attack. Anyway. It would have at least traded with this, but now this card won't strike. So he won't draw a spell either. I also drew 2 cards, which is pretty fine for me. We get to hit the face. Also, since an ally died, Callista's now 1 out of 3. You can tell by how many spears are sticking out of her. After my opponent acts...
What do these yordle eyes see?
What do these yordle eyes see? Now, we have 2 options here. We can play a Mist Wraith, or we can play the Cursed Keeper. The Cursed Keeper can't block, but has a really great Glimpse Beyond next turn, which we can play immediately. And I think that's what we want. We want the 4-4 blocker. The Mist Wraith maybe is for later, but we want to use our mana. And we'll float the rest of this mana for the next turn. We pass. Attack priority changes over to the opponent. We draw our cards, and now we have Hecarim ready to go next turn. I think I'm going to actually kill Teemo here, finally. As opposed to actually... I can still Glimpse Beyond. No, I can't do both. Teemo's just becoming a problem, and I think I'm just going to kill him. So we're going to drain 3. I think because he's only a 1-strength unit, I only get the 1. Nope, I get 3 no matter what happens, as the Oracle Eye shows.
Push on without me.
So I'm passing now. My opponent... it was an expensive spell, so my opponent can play whatever. Here comes Karma. And now we get to play Hecarim. So Karma has triggered her end of round, so there's a random spell in my opponent's hand of any faction or anything like that. And the Enlightened ability means he has 10 mana. Being able to play Hecarim at the end of my opponent's attacking turn could just seal the deal. However, playing Hecarim right now is just too strong. We already have Hecarim in hand. I think we just want to go very much.
Not today.
Not today. The cards all talk to each other.
Secure me tail. Start the day.
All right, we're attacking in, my friends. Wait, hold on. Callista won't attack, because Callista will level up when these two allies die. Two allies are going to die anyway. So I'll leave Callista where she is, because Hecarim's going to summon these riders, which will automatically die no matter what happens. So Callista will then level up, which means that the 4/4 will be coming back, I believe.
Intruder.
Actually, only when a Callista. You know what? If I positioned, hold on. If I positioned Callista here, she would have leveled up and attacked. It was a misplay actually here. She would have leveled up here and then attacked, and then on her attack she would have revived the 4/4. I made a misplay there. So revive that ally attacking and reforge our bond, which means that a 4/4 will come down and then will immediately protect Callista. So we have a very, very strong board here. Our position is quite strong. Plus, our opponent is already very close to death.
Everyone here?
Just won't have enough blockers. Just won't have enough blockers, I don't think. We'll just draw 2 right now. We'll play the other Cursed Keeper and kill them both.
We weren't expecting callers.
I actually our next turn is so insane. Door number 9, you're loving what you've seen so far with Runeterra. Can't wait for the open beta. Me neither, Door. Me neither. It'll be open in. I don't think it'll be open beta in 2020, but it'll be closed beta in 2020. So Timo's touching down, can't block it. That's just it. But we're still going to play some responses here to this attack. We're going to draw 2 cards. And we're going to draw 2 more cards. Before he starts to double the amount of poison puff caps. Oh man, look at our hand, my friends. This is just nuts. Our opponent doesn't have a chance. People making Gwent jokes don't know that this game is not able to be played after today, so.
Success is planting your mushrooms.
Alright, so we're going to have a lot of mushrooms in our deck. This means that all these cards that we have drawn are trapped. Boom. Another. Now we have 21. And now Timo's going to hit. And now we're going to have 42 mushrooms. But that's okay because next turn we're going to win. Our opponent has no more mana, so we can just play another card here. But I actually think we don't want to play another card because we can only attack with so many creatures. 6 is the limit. So we float this 2 mana, and it's over. I don't know what my opponent could really do to stop this. Get ready for action. Oh, by the way, at the end of this round, if our opponent, we also can cut our opponent's health in half. But we don't want to give him a chance to block. Watch the madness. So only one rider form, but this is the bonded one for Callista. All right, so he's still dead by 14, even with these blockers. He's got to block with everything. But if he does block with everything, we have a follow-up.
It will be done.
He's also taking 3 damage here, so I think that's very bad for him. No, he dies. He's dead to the board. Yeah, that's it. We got him. Boom.
A gift from the river folk.
Boom. Yeah, I mean the time is short now for this game. I mean, I don't think he had any chance considering what I had. The Overwhelm got him. Yeah, Hecarim is just so good. Wait till I show you some of the other decks. Like, this deck is good because it's strong, and it's just like Callista is so good, and Hecarim and Thresh. All the Shadow Isles champions are quite good. Interesting. I don't think I need 2 Black Spear, but I think I might keep 1 just because of how good it is with, like, all the time. We're going to keep the Wraith Collar because I talked a big game about this card and we didn't even get to see it last game. That's the other thing about this game. The consistency is actually, you don't see a lot of your deck. These are 40-card decks. Sky Owner here is playing Demacian Allegiance. So it's mono deck versus mono deck. We'll open up with the Hapless Aristocrat.
Elise, where are you?
So what the mushrooms were doing is they were attaching themselves to random cards in my deck. So each card could have 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5, or whatever amount of mushrooms. So every time I drew a card, I lost an amount of health. Let's attack in here.
Let's get out of here.
So that deck is scary because later on in the game, you could just draw into your own death. But I've only lost to that kind of deck once, where I've actually drawn into my own death. Mobilize, reduce the cost. Let's take a look at this one. Every ally in hand, reduced cost by 1. So it's going to be a really big value. I think we have better value than him if we can get a Cursed Keeper. The War Chefs. He has a support ability, and the support ability means when attacking, you buff the unit to the right. So positioning, very important here. What are we playing, though? I don't think we're playing anything. What's up, Cobalt?
Into the face.
Doble Vichur. Shall I block with this? Seems fine. I mean, I don't like taking damage.
You have to get me out of here.
The thing is, you only can have 6 units on the bench, so making use of like I'm playing it to have an early blocker. That's kind of like what I'm doing. And now I can Black Spear and kill it.
Eyes bigger.
Glimpse Beyond, my favorite card. Callista can come down here, bonding with only the spider. I'm not crazy about that. So what I think I might do is play Callista after the Wraith Collar. But I think that might just be greedy. But it also just might be correct. I'll just float the mana for now. My opponent might just pat. Oh, no, he wants to play.
And their swords.
Nope, I'm not going to do anything. Turn the round over. We float 3 mana here, so if we draw a big spell, that's good. There's the Rekindler. So now this means that when Callista dies, Rekindler brings back Callista. We get to play 2 blockers here.
Worth 10 foes.
Wraith Collar number 1.
Run them through.
All right, this is good because we have Vile Feast to finish off something that takes 3 damage. Oh, wait. Oh, he's just doing this just to kill it. All right, so we'll be able to finish this off then. So we'll damage this by 1 so it trades and kills. I like our place right now. See, he's buffing his hand and stuff, so he's...
I'll write my own story.
All right, that's fine. All right, the magic is about to start happening here. Unfortunately, oh, we get a Ravenous Butcher. So we play Ravenous Butcher and then Callista because we were happy to have a 3-2 come back with Callista. That's just fine. But we're going to be playing units before attacking. The other option in most games is instead of playing your units before attacking is attacking immediately so your opponent can't play any units in response to have blockers. Near the end of the game, this is really important to force that last little bit of damage to your opponent's Nexus.
Still so much to learn.
So we play Callista now and we forge a bond with the Ravenous Butcher. Kung! Centurion Cloudfeed, yeah. Cythria. It's interesting. Cythria's journey is represented in a number of different cards. She has a 4-strength card, a 6-strength card, or a 6-mana card, a 4-mana card. So now we are going to be attacking. Yes, yes we are. Let's go, boys. We want, we actually want Callista to attack first. That way, Callista's block is absorbed by the Ravenous Butcher, so she can't die in a block, no matter what happens. If I played Callista afterwards, Callista could have been... If I played Callista before the Butcher...
I'm ready.
I'm ready. Oh, poor Cythria of Cloudfield. You might follow up by killing Callista.
What could have been?
I fight for the fallen.
All right, so these units are starting to get pretty scary now. Lifesteal and Tough. Tough means she takes 1 less damage from every attack. Lifesteal means she's healing the Nexus, I believe. Heals the Nexus. And now attacking right in. The good news is I have Vengeance, which is just kill a unit. It's expensive, but I gotta use it here. Now, this isn't Ionia, so there's no denial of the spell. I don't think Demacia has anything that can stop this. It does change what I wanted to do this turn, but I'm on my defense turn. Killing. I love that. In the process of killing this unit. What does Vengeance do? Kills a unit. It's just all very straightforward. Your reward. I'll take 3 damage to the Nexus. That's fine. Pass this over here. What's the opponent doing with his 8 mana? I'm a little scared.
In formation.
Okay. Pass. Any spells to cast? All right. This is a very, very good turn for us. What we can do here is attack in with Callista, who will die. Well, hold on. We can do 2 things. We have no champions that have died yet. If Callista dies, then we play Raza, and Raza kills what's left of the board, basically. And then we can play the Rekindler. However, I'd like to level up Callista, but we don't have any, like, cheap, crappy units. So what's going to happen is we're just going to end up attacking it. Because Callista is going to come back, and I think that's important enough for the Rekindler.
Not my first fight.
Not my first fight. See, that's Cythria of Cloudfield again. They're all Cythria of Cloudfield in various, like, as she goes through her journey.
Gave my all.
Now he's going to respond with a unit, perhaps?
You can count on me.
And I get to respond with Raza, who's glowing orange because Raza's ready to reap. He's sundering. He's coming for you. The Night Harvest. Reap. What a play right here. We're setting ourselves up for a quick victory after we have Rekindler next turn. Plus, we're attacking in with Rasa. But I think we're going to want to play Rekindler first. Depends on how he wants to lead this off.
You're covered.
All right. Cythria once again. 3-2. So I think we're just going to play Rekindler, which is going to bring back Callista. Callista Flockhart.
Then kindle anew.
What a card this is. And he's a 5/5. It's like you put this ability on a crazy fast card. This deck is out of control.
Laurents are born with blades in hand.
Blades in hand. Now Callista is back to 0 out of 3. That is what it is. What does the attack look like here, my friends? I'm pretty sure we just take the damage, though. I don't think we want to lose anything here. Or risk losing anything. Demacia's direct damage isn't very good. Although there are stuff that like makes the attackers very strong. So if I don't block the attacker, I'm likely to die. I think I just take the Rekindler and Let the Rekindler block this.
Join the conflict.
Well, hold on. I mean, he can't block with this anyway. I think I just like Callista trade here. Because he can't block Raza, because Raza's fearsome.
You will never find peace.
This is just a great trade for me. A 4-2 trading with a 5-4 is kind of like what you play card games. You live for those trades. We're not doing anything else here. We're going into an attack with a 7-7 and a 5-5. Another Mist Wraith coming at us. But we're going to attack right in here. The 2-3 must block this. Doesn't have an option. The 7 is just going to go through. Opponent's looking at 7. He's taking all the damage, Sky Owner, this Demacian Rebel.
Heart and sword for Demacia.
Garen touches down. Garen is a 6-6 with regeneration, which means doesn't actually sustain any damage between rounds. And when he strikes twice, levels up. I want to draw cards now. But at this point, I'm just spending all my mana to play attackers and blockers. We want to draw. We have 2. We just want to kill things and draw. So we're going to actually just see my opponent's going to is passing now. Okay. So we'll just take 1 health from this to create a 1/1 that we will be able to sacrifice to draw 2, and then we might actually just draw into like a butcher or something, or draw into a cursed keeper that also wants to be killed for this. Like the chains here that you could make with this card it's just such a good card. Like I'm giving up nothing here. My opponent just keeps passing. Wraithcaller, I can play it. Ravenous Butcher. And now, since that's a burst spell, I still can actually play my Wraithcaller. Also buffing all of my Mist Wraiths. Just a standard game. Just another standard game for... just another standard game for Shadow Isles. Thresh on the board. Or in the hand.
Raise the banner. Lift our spirits. We
All right, so
stand strong.
this is the allegiance card for Demacia. So all allies, and I think it means, yeah, all allies on the board, I believe. So we play Thresh because Thresh is an amazing blocker and we want to see enemies die, and enemies might just die here.
There's nowhere to hide.
We just have such an oppressive board. We have great board advantage for Demacia. This is very strong, but we can still block all of this. None of these cards overwhelm. So we place blocker, and then we can just kill a blocker, I think, if he tries any tricks. I'm assuming he's attacking. Yeah, okay. I mean, I do want to kill a unit. I'll take the trade. 7-7 for a 7-5 is okay. No, wait. This is more useless. This is the useless thing. Thresh is important. I need to still sacrifice one of these. So these will be the blocks. I'm not taking any of this damage, really. What's next?
Stay resolute.
Oh boy. Another Mist Wraith. Isn't what I wanted to see. We need to get 7 damage in. Do I attack in with this?
Marriages and inevitability.
No, I think I'm just building an attack board. I think I'm just drawing cards. First. Just to see. Hecarim. Yes, Hecarim. Grasp. This kind of seals the deal for us, I think. I think this might be GG with the Hecarim draw.
I do not take orders from you.
I do not take orders from you. I think it must be GG with the Riders. Horsey boys.
Discipline and steel.
Anything that allows me to play a horsey deck, I'm a happy boy. We'll play Grasp of the Undying to remove a blocker. While also attacking? No. No. Not while also attacking. He only has 2 cards left, and one of them is for Demacia, which won't matter. So he only has 1 card left. There's no need to... I don't think... Oh, we have another... Oh, it's 2 out of 3. Thresh is going to also... Thresh is actually going to... Thresh is going to level up here. All right. No. This one. Yeah, this is GG.
I pity you.
Pities me. He pities me, chat. Ooh, Hecarim for the win again. Man, Hecarim is like Hecarim leveling up. You don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. Preview for the game ends today, Marv, but it's a great game, and I'm really looking forward to playing it again in November. Stretchy, thanks so much for the tip. This game's dope. Can't wait for you to make content on it. Shadow Isles deck is quite fun. I love it. Got Stretchy, one of my longest time supporters, telling me that he's happy to see that I'm making content for Runeterra is really exciting. I don't have to make it a commitment yet. I have a lot of footage of this game that I really, really like, but I'm not going to be able to play it until the 14th of November.